Hello all, welcome back to my YouTube channel all about VLSI. Hope you are all doing good. Good evening. I hope my voice is audible and my screen is visible. Right? Yeah. So let's start today's session. In this session we are going to discuss about deep copy in SystemVerilog. Okay. So in previous session we have discussed about shallow copy, right? So in this session we will discuss about deep copy in SystemVerilog. So what is deep copy? So we will consider the example which we have discussed in our previous session. We have coded something, right? So we will consider that example and we will try to understand with that particular example. Okay. So in that particular example, what we have done, we have declared a class called header. We have declared a class called header, and this header has a handle, let's say h underscore handle. So this was the handle for our class header. Okay. Now we have declared one more class called packet, and this packet class has some properties. This packet class has some properties as well as methods declared inside this packet, and we have declared we have called this, or we have declared this header handle inside this packet also. Okay, so we have this h underscore handle inside our packet class also. Okay, we have this, wait a minute, yeah, we have this h underscore handle in our packet class. Okay, so this is our packet class. So our packet class was consisting of this properties, methods, as well as this header class handle. Okay, and for this packet class, what we were doing, we have created two handles, p1 and p2. Okay, and we have created two handles of this packet class, p1 and p2, and for this p1 and p2 we have created objects. Okay, using p1 is equal to new, and we have done the shallow copy, that is p2 is equal to new of p1. Okay, this we have seen our previous session. We have done the shallow copy, and we have observed when we are doing the shallow copy, what we have observed in shallow, properties were being copied, properties are getting copied. So basically in shallow copy, properties are getting copied, but the handles are shared across, p1 and p2. Okay, that example we have seen what is happening. So in p1 and p2 were sharing the same handle. Okay, the objects p1 and p2 were sharing the same handle. Okay, the objects were sharing the same handle. So in case of shallow copy, that we have seen. What now we are going to see in the deep copy is, we are going to see how to copy this particular header handle also. How to copy this particular header handle from p1 to p2 using deep copy. Using deep copy, we are going to see how to copy. So using deep copy, we are going to see how to copy the header handle. Okay, how to copy the header handle from p1 object to p2 object. Okay, so basically we will just summarize it. So basically packet class was consisting a nested class handle called header, and so it was not copied. Okay, the entire object was not copied, only the handle was copied. Okay, that's what we have seen. Now let's see to the coding. Okay, so this was the coding we were doing, right? So here, if we observe, we have done the shallow copy. P2 is equal to new of p1. P2 is equal to new of p1 we have done. Okay, let me zoom in. Yeah, p2 is equal to new of p1, and we were assigning the address, and here this p2 dot h underscore hand is the handle for our header class, and id is a property of that header class. Okay, we were modifying this to 40. Okay, and initially what we were passing 1. Okay, so here when we are modifying this id value to 40, so it was also being modified in the p1 class. So let me run this quickly and let me show you. compile selected, simulate, start simulation. Let's say this TB file. And let me run this. Here if you have data is 3 and ID is 1. So this is this information is of P1 object, and P2 address is 20, we are modifying, data is 30, we are modifying, and ID is 40. And if you observe P1 after making modifications using P2, if you observe the value of P1 was being modified. The address is the values of address are not modified because we are doing shallow copy, but the ID value is modified. That means the handle or the object was not copied properly. It is being shared by the two objects P1 and P2. So that's why if there are any changes made to this ID value with the help of P2 object, it is being reflected in P1 also. Okay, so how to overcome that? We are going to use shallow copy. So to copy the object, to copy the internal nested handles between the two objects, we are going to follow shallow copy. Okay, now we will see that how to do that shallow copy. So let me open that. So in this so in this deep copy, what I'm doing to go is, so what I'm going to do is, so in the header class, okay, so in the header class, I will create one more function called copy function. You can say the function name is copy. Okay, function copy, function, the class name followed by copy. And here I will create the object for this copy. So this function name can act as a handle also. Okay, so this is of type header. So for this I am going to create the object copy is equal to new. And now copy dot what I will do, copy dot id is equal to this dot id. Okay, so the id, this id will be passed to the object copy dot id, and I will end the function. Okay, this copy function will be called from our packet class. Okay, I will show you how we are going to create that. So in the packet class also, we are going to create one more function. No need of creating one more function. In the packet class only, what we'll do is basically, I'll show you that. So in the packet class, now what I will going to do in this function new itself, what I'm going to do, instead of creating the object for this, we should create the object. Okay, so we'll call this function which is not here. So this is our packet class, right? So this is our packet class. Here also we will create one more function. My mistake. So we will create a function of type class packet, and the function name is copy. Okay, we will create one more function, and we will create the object for this function. Copy is equal to new. Not for function, we are creating object for this handle copy. So copy is equal to new, and what we are going to do, we are going to store the properties. This copy dot addr is equal to this dot, not addr. We have properties, addr. This dot addr is copy dot addr is equal to this dot addr, and copy dot data, which is equal to this dot data. Okay, we are basically, what we are doing, we are copying the properties of this class, and we are going to store it in the object called copy. Okay, we are copying the properties of this class, and we are storing it in the object. That's it. Okay, and now what we are going to do is, we are going to copy dot, what we are going to do is, we are going to this handle we have created, it h underscore hand, copy dot h underscore hand equal to h underscore hand dot copy. So the copy method which was created in our header handle, that copy method we are going to call. What happens if we call that method h underscore hand? So if we call that h underscore hand method, the copy method which is present in this header, what happens? It will create an object and it will store the property id, this dot id. This object here will be stored into one more object called copy. That's it. So this is how it is being done. And from that shallow underscore tb module, what we are going to do is basically we are going to call this method. So how we are going to call this method? P2 is equal to P1 dot copy. Okay, P2 is equal to P1 dot copy. So what happens? So P2 is equal to P1 dot copy. So if we call this P1 dot copy, the copy method which is present inside our packet will be called. So an object will be created and address, which is the local address, will be copied into this copy dot address. It will be stored inside this object and data will be stored inside this object, and h underscore dot copy. So we are calling the copy method which is present inside our header, which is present in our header. So what happens here if we call this method? Then again object will be created for this, and the id, the local property will be copied inside this object. Okay, will be stored inside this object. So this object will be is assigned to our object copy dot hand. Okay, so like this the data is being stored, and finally what happens? It is being assigned, or it is being copied to P2. It is being copied to P2. So draw it so that you can understand it in a better way. Yeah. So what we are doing basically is, let me write it here for you. So it is somewhat a bit confusing topic, but if you understand it clearly, if you focus it, it will be clear. Okay. So let us say this is our header. So in this header, I'm creating a function. This function of type, and the type of the function is of type header, and the function name is new. Okay. And this header has a property called wait a minute, let me check. Let me check what is the property which is present in the header. So it is basically id. Okay, the property which is present here is id. Okay, so this id, what we are doing basically, so we have created a function of type header and the function name is new. So for this new, we are creating a object. New is equal to, sorry, not new, it is copy. So copy is equal to new. Okay, so what happens if we write like this? Copy is equal to new, a object will be created. Copy is equal to new, a object will be created with name copy. Like this, a object will be created. So like this also we can create our own objects actually. So we can declare a function of type, int type, logic type, like that, right? So we can declare a function of class type also. We can declare a function of header class. Okay, and the function name is copy. So we can create the object for this particular handle. So copy is equal to new. Okay, function name itself acts as a handle. Okay, so copy is equal to new. Then if we write copy is equal to new, what happens? A object is being created for this handle copy. Now what we are doing is copy dot id, which is equal to this dot id, So what is happening here? This refers to the local object which is present inside the particular class, which we have declared in the previous session also. Okay, this refers to the local object which is being declared in the local class. Okay, so the local object which is declared in the class header will get copied or will get assigned to this object. Okay, basically we are storing the object which is present inside our header class to our object. So what happens in our object, id will get stored. Id will get stored like this. Okay, this dot id is equal to copy dot id. So the id field will be stored inside the copy object. So this copy object has been created, and a field called, a property called id is being created. So like this we are going to create an object with a property called id. Now what we are doing, we are declaring a class packet. We have seen that, right? We have created a class called packet, and in this class packet we are creating one more function, and this function type is of packet. And this function I will write it in one more page. So we are creating a class called packet, and this in this class packet we are creating a function, and this function type is of, and this function name is also copy. Okay, so inside this copy method, again what we are doing, we are creating the object for this particular handle. So I have told you the function name will also act as a handle, since we are declaring it is of type packet. So copy is equal to new. Then what happens in the similar fashion, an object will be created for this handle copy. Okay, an object is created for this handle copy. Now what we are doing, this class packet has some set of properties. This class packet has some set of properties. Those are address and data. So those are address and data. So this has int address and data. So this, what we are doing, we are basically this dot address and this dot data. This dot address and this dot data. This we are basically going to copy in our object called copy dot addr and copy dot data. This is how we are going to copy the local property addr into our created object copy. Okay, addr and data will be copied into our local object addr and data. So this is how we are going to create an object, and we are going to copy the properties from local to our object. So this object has been created, and it consists of addr and data. You have an object called copy, and it is consisting of two properties, which is called as addr and data. Okay, that is what we have seen. And now what we have seen in a module TB, what we are doing basically in module TB, we are calling p2 is equal to p1 dot copy. Then what happens, this p1 class handle will call the copy method which is present inside the packet class. So what happens, this copy method is being called, so object is being created for this, and the data and the contents are being stored. And but here one more step I have forgotten. So it is one more step is copy dot the handle name. What is the handle name? H underscore handle, which is equal to what we have written here in the coding, h underscore hand dot copy. Okay, h underscore hand dot copy. So what we are doing, first from the TB we are calling the copy function. So a copy function will be called, object will be created. Okay, but here again h underscore hand dot copy step is written. Okay, this means what, the copy method which is present inside the header class. Okay, so it will go to the header class and it will check for the copy method. So a copy method is available here, right? So this copy method will be called, but here what is happening, a object will be created for this copy. Okay, so object is created. If you see, we have discussed it, right? So object is being created. So this method is being called and object is being created. When we call the method in the header, which is present in the header, an object is being created for this, and this object here, the object which has been created will be passed to our copy dot h underscore handle. So the h underscore handle will now point towards the object which is being created in the header class, okay. So this h underscore handle now will point towards the object which has been created in the header class, okay. Now what happens, since this p1.copy is being called initially, so this will be called, everything is being created, this object has been created, and this whole object will be copied to p2. That is, now p2 will point towards this whole object that is being created when we have called the function copy. So this p2 will point towards the object which has been created when we call this copy method. What object it will point? It will point to this object, which is what is that? It contains of addr, data, and the handle h underscore handle which is being pointed to one more object, that is id, okay. So p1 has its own set, which means it consists of addr, data, and h underscore handle, which is being pointed to object called id. So this is how two separate handles are being pointed towards different objects, okay. So in previous step, what was happening? So in the shallow copy, what was happening? P1 was consisting of data and address, and it was consisting of h underscore handle, okay, h underscore handle, and P2 was consisting different sets of data and address and h underscore handle. But here this h underscore handle, these two handles are pointing towards the same object, only the same object. That was the difference. But in the deep copy, this two h underscore handles are pointing towards different objects, okay. That is how the deep copy is going to help us to whenever there are nested handles inside a class, okay. So this is about deep copy in SystemVerilog, okay. I hope you have understood about the deep copy and the shallow copy in SystemVerilog. I've tried my level best to explain this concept, so please repeat this lecture 1 or 2 times, or if you are having any difficulties, or if you are facing any difficulties to understand this particular thing, you can ping me. I will try to help you understand it again, okay. So yeah, so that's all for this session. So if you're having any doubts or queries, you can ping me in the chat, or else we can end this session, okay. Thank you, and don't forget to like this session and do subscribe to our YouTube channel all about VLSI, okay. Thank you.